Hello, and welcome back to Rabbit Reads, where we are continuing Skulduggery Pleasant, playing with fire, as we are on Chapter 18, entitled Old Enemies. Valkyrie edged up to the battlement, peeking down as Skulduggery landed gently. Dusk turned his head like he had heard something, but then looked the other way. Skulduggery crept up behind him, wrapped an arm around his throat, and hauled him back. Dusk struggled, tried to release the grip, but Skulduggery was cutting off the oxygen to his brain, and Valkyrie knew it would be over in a moment. Once Dusk had gone limp, Skulduggery laid him on the ground. The entire thing had been done in complete silence. Skulduggery crept to the castle entrance, and Valkyrie moved to the very edge of the collapsed roof, lying flat and peering over. The infected had managed to place the mummified figure into the crate without dropping it again. Valkyrie saw their eyes narrow when Skulduggery walked up. Vengeous still had his back to him. "Hello, Baron," Skulduggery said. She saw Vengeous stiffen slightly, then turn. "Of course," Vengeous said. Who do they send to try to take me down? Not even a man. Not even a monster. They send you." Skulduggery gave a little shrug. "How have you been, Baron?" "You taint me," Vengeous said, disgust in his voice. "Even being in your presence, it taints me. I can feel it in the air. Even these infected, these half-undead, even they are more worthy of my time than you would never, ever be." Skulduggery nodded. "So, you married or anything? Do I hear the pitter-patter of tiny evil feet? I will destroy you." "You're still upset about that time I made you explode, aren't you? I can tell. You never stop talking, do you?" "I don't have to talk," Skulduggery said. "I can be quiet." A moment passed. "So, who have you got in the crate? Is it the shriveled, lifeless patchwork corpse of the Grotesquerie? Am I right? Because if it is, I'm afraid I can't let you take it. I could, give you its big toe or something as a keepsake, but that's about it." "What are you saying, skeleton? What you are saying, skeleton, is blasphemous." "You're the one who dug up your own god." Vengeous started frowning, taking his cutlass from its sheath. "I wish I didn't have to kill you now. I wish I could see the fury it would wreak upon you for this blasphemy. You do realize I've got no skin to cut, right?" Vengeous smiled again as he approached. "This sword is woven razor. The same process they use to make the cleaver's scythe. It will shear through your bones." "Ah," Skulduggery said, taking a step back. Vengeous was almost upon him. "What's this? No jokes? No taunts? Let me see how confident you are now, you abomination." Skulduggery's hand went into his jacket and came back out with his revolver. He aimed it squarely at Vengeous's face. Vengeous froze. "As it turns out," Skulduggery said after a moment's consideration, "I'm still pretty confident." "Are you going to shoot me?" Vengeous sneered. "I wouldn't be surprised. What would a thing like you know about honor? Only a heathen would bring a gun to a sword fight." "And only a moron would bring a sword to a gunfight." Vengeous scowled. "As you can see," he said, "you are vastly outnumbered." "I usually am." "Your situation has become quite untenable." "It usually does." "You are within moments of being swarmed by these filthy creatures of undeath and torn apart into maelstrom of pain and fury." Skulduggery paused. "Okay, that's a new one on me." "Kill him," Vengeous barked. The infected started forward. Valkyrie saw Skulduggery wave his arm, and a gust of wind raised a cloud of dust to obscure her view. She glimpsed Vengeous backing up, shielding his eyes. There was gunshots, flashes of fire, guttural snarls of anger, and the infected flew backwards through the air. When the dust cleared, only Skulduggery and Vengeous were left standing. 6 shots, Vengeous said. I counted. Your gun's empty. You're assuming I didn't reload in all the confusion. And did you? Skulduggery hesitated. No, he admitted and put the gun away. Vengeous took a moment to look around. The girl, he said. Kane, where is she? She had to stay home, unfortunately. It's school night, so. Pity. I would have liked her to see me kill you. Vengeous laid his cutlass on the ground. And I won't be needing a sword to kill you. He strode forward. He strode towards Skulduggery, who raised his hands. Since you're not going to be using it, can I? Vengeous almost laughed. He punched and Skulduggery darted low and to the side, but Vengeous was expecting the maneuver. And he brought his clenched fist down on Skulduggery's shoulder blade. Skulduggery tried to move in for a throw, but Vengeous shifted his weight slightly and stuck out his foot, and Skulduggery went tumbling. His leg hit the crate and fell on the grotesquerie. Vengeous roared and reached in, grabbing Skulduggery and hauled him out. He sent out a right hook that cracked against the bone of Skulduggery's jaw. He followed it with a left cross, but Skulduggery managed to raise his arm in defense. The block turned into a strike to the throat, and sudden and savage as a snake. Vengeous coughed and fell back, and Skulduggery kicked the inside of his leg. Vengeous kept his guard close, protecting his head, but dropped it low when Skulduggery kicked for his ribs. The kick was a feint and turned to a step, and Skulduggery swung a punch, but Vengeous caught it, his left hand closing around the skeleton's right wrist. Vengeous surged upward and in, his right elbow hitting Skulduggery's right shoulder like a bullet. Vengeous torqued his body and took Skulduggery off his feet, and threw him to the ground, landing heavily on top of him. Skulduggery's left hand came up to Vengeous' face, the fingers flexing, and Vengeous swatted the hand away before Skulduggery could push at the air. Vengeous punched again and again, and grinned down at him. I'd hate to be you, Vengeous said, a skeleton who feels pain, none of the advantages of a flesh and blood body, and all its weaknesses. Whoever brought you back should have left you where you lay. Skulduggery groaned. Some of the infected were back on their feet, and they looked at Skulduggery as he lay there. Vengeous stood and brushed the dust off his clothes. He picked up his cutlass. I'm going to cut you, Vengeous said, into little tiny pieces. I'm going to take a small part of your skull and turn it into some dice. Maybe I'll use the rest of you as keys on a piano. I wonder, skeleton, would you still be alive? Would you be conscious if you were dice or keys on a piano? Always wanted a life in music, Skulduggery mumbled. Valkyrie couldn't watch anymore. She got to her feet. Hey! Vengeous looked up to the collapsed roof and saw her. Heard you've been looking for me, she called out. Miss Kane, Vengeous said with a smile. So you are here. That girl, Skulduggery muttered, never does what she's bloody well told. You want me, Baron? Valkyrie shouted. Come and get me. And then she stepped back, and Vengeous started running up after her, and she went to the battlement and flung herself over. And that is the end of Chapter 18. So, apparently, Vengeous and Skulduggery have met before, and Skulduggery made him explode. That's a new one, at least for me. But it would seem with Skulduggery's old enemies, it's most of the time a ridiculous feat that he's done in the past. And who are we to judge that? But, with any case, Vengeous still wants Valkyrie for some reason. I'm guessing it has to do with her ancient blood. But we haven't really found out much. Hopefully it will become clear later on. But until then, I'm going to leave this one here. So thank you guys so much for listening to this one. If you liked it, you know what to do. Keep things crazy. And I'll see you guys in the next one.